What's up, family? Before we start today's episode, I just want to talk to you about a great service called Anchor. What is Anchor? It's the one tool you need if you're wanting to get into podcasting or find a ton of new shows. It's easy to set up and even connects you with potential sponsors. Oh, and the best part? It streams to all major podcasting platforms for the low price of free. Yup, free. So head to anchor.fm, sign up for the free, and get your podcast started today.
What's going on, fellas? Welcome to For Men by Men, a podcast where we take the internal thoughts of men to external growth, purposely creating an authentic generation of godly men. We are your hosts, Michael Aparicio,
Raji Rush,
Drexler B. James,
and Malik Williams.
Well, all right. How y'all doing out there in the world? It is the guys here. Of course, we can't meet up in the studio because quarantine, but yeah, we just wanted to get with you guys and see how y'all doing. And for us, really just to check up on each other because we haven't seen each other in, I don't know.
Yeah, a minute.
Wow. But yeah, man, how y'all doing?
Doing amazing in these times that we're having here.
I'm just ready to get out the house, honestly.
Yeah, you look like
I'm not good at sitting home this long. I've been in the house a month and going on 2 weeks now, so
getting antsy, huh?
a little bit.
You been cooking up a storm, though. Your food brand been popping.
I have, but I want to be able to go to a restaurant now. I'm getting a little tired of my cooking.
Nah, man. Nah, leave them girls alone, man. You ain't spend no money.
Restaurants are girls.
Nah, he don't go to restaurants alone. We're ready. We're ready this way.
Yes, I do go to restaurants alone.
All right. How you doing, Raji?
You already
let's move on real quick. I'm pretty good, man. You know, really trying to enjoy moments with the family.
Yeah.
Enjoying my son. And so this is the hard thing, right? The hard thing is trying to adapt, right? I think that's the biggest thing for me. So, you know, you have a lot more free time. So it's like, dang, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
So I've been really trying to build new habits as far as how I'm spending my time, you know, making sure that I'm taking time out the day, like proactively and actively, to concentrate on certain things. So take at least minimum an hour reading, or minimum hour in the Word, minimum hour reading something extracurricular, minimum hour doing something creative, and then restricting myself to about an hour of video games. I'm just being honest, but that hasn't gone well. I've done at least 2-3 hours, but
I mean, it's all a process, man. We ain't going nowhere no time soon, so.
True.
Malik.
Trying to find toilet paper.
Trying to find toilet paper.
Yeah, that's what's going on. You're rationing toilet paper now, man. I saw a post from somebody I knew from. They had bought toilet paper on Amazon, but it was legit like it's supposed to be like back roll packs, but it was legit like half a roll on every single one when they opened the pack.
Horrible.
Yeah, man. For me, man, it's been something.
Yeah, nah, man. Come on, man. Nah, don't something. Nah.
A lot of ways to that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let me know what you
I mean,
doing,
it's being honest, man. It's been a challenge, man. It's been something that's been challenging me a lot in my job. To just like, you know, they always say they don't see media people until something goes wrong. about them now, like, this is categorized as something going wrong when people can't come to a place and they got to depend on you. So it's been fun. It's been challenging trying to figure out how to create new ways to keep people engaged and stuff. But just spending a lot of time at home.
Yeah. Do you guys have to like clock in and out, or like not clock in, but like they have to see that you're like logged on working and stuff, or how does that work for you guys?
No, it's really just a trust thing. It's 9 to 5, pretty much.
What about you, Roger? They gotta see that you logged on at times?
Yeah. So, when we clock in, so they've kind of loosened up the restrictions. Well, first of all, we have to do a VPN. So we use the full cell VPN so that we can access different files and whatnot. And then we do clock in and out. So that's interesting. But I mean, granted, to keep us, accountable, we have morning meetings at 9 a.m. So that's been pretty cool, man. I mean, it working from home definitely has its pros and cons. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool to get up. You know what I'm saying? You're in your play shorts or your drawers or whatever, and you can just start the day. But it's the separation between work and home, and trying to compartmentalize things. You know what I mean? That's a little difficult. So when I'm done with my work day, it's like, dang, but I'm still home though. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. I can't quite explain it.
I think it's like you're not in an office environment, so your mind kind of almost says, "Well, I don't have to work as hard."
Both. So it's both. It's like a part of it is I'm home, so I'm chilling, and then sometimes we have downtime. I'm like, let me just watch some YouTube videos, or for the time being. But then I can't be too far away from my computer because, my boss may ask me things. Hey, Roger, can I get the details on this? Hey, can you create this report? So I do have to be really close to my computer. So that's that. And then we have phone calls as well. We have phone meetings and other calls with our partners that I have to be present for. But then I think it's like when I'm done with work, once I'm getting in my work mindset, it's like I don't want to think about work at home. When I leave work, I leave work. Like, work is work. I clocked out. I left the facility, the premises, and then I get home and I'm in my home mind. But with work being at home, it gets jumbled up.
Yeah. And TJ was telling me because he kind of deal with the same thing, but he was saying that he literally like has to get dressed, like fully dressed, like he's going out of the house, just for his mind, just to compartmentalize, like, I'm
What's
working,
yeah,
and then I can chill. But yeah, man, I definitely agree. I've been forcing myself to just get up and get dressed, like make sure, take a shower, everything that I would normally do before, we quarantine. How your family's doing, man? Anybody affected by it?
No, everybody's good on my end, thank God.
I have a distant cousin who's been affected, but I don't know the cousin that well, so it doesn't bother me. But the choir director at my mom's church, he had it, and the church was still meeting after they found out he had it, and she was going. So I've kind of been like on her case, like to stay home, because she went to Fort Lauderdale last week just because, and I'm like, you're not supposed to be going anywhere. She said, well, I was bored. Like, Mom, sit still.
Damn, man. What was that?
Apologize, that little
Okay.
mongrel.
You got a dog?
Yes.
You don't seem like the dog type of person.
No?
Nah.
Let me tell you something, man. That dog loved me in my bad days and my good days. He loved me when I was hunting. He loved me when I was doing bad, and he loved me now that I'm doing good.
I can see Mike with a dog more than I can see him with any other animal, especially a
Nah.
cat. You look more like a dog person.
Yeah, I can't do cats because cats don't like react to you.
Man, cats are the devil.
Yeah, you walk in, cat looking at you like he owned the place. Like,
Nah,
oh, you
bro.
back?
Cats are the devil.
No, when
Cats-
I'm going to agree with
Cats
that.
plot against you.
No, they don't. Dogs plot against you more than cats.
What you mean?
Drexel sound like he about to get a cat soon. He's standing up for the cat rights.
He is. Hey,
No,
how many cats have you had in your life?
I've never had a cat or a
Exactly.
dog.
So have you ever been around cats for more than 5 minutes?
No, I have been around cats and I've been around dogs.
For more than 5 minutes?
Yeah.
It's like a long period of time. And a cat has never plotted against you.
You
No.
probably gonna be sitting there petting them and stuff.
You just don't remember.
No. Cats have, dogs have, but cats haven't.
Dogs don't plot against you.
Yes, they
If
do.
dogs plotting against you, then that's something personal about you, brother.
Yeah. Cats just
Every
do
time
it.
my world has plotted against me, had something personal against me, didn't even know me.
Nah, bro. Cats.
That dog,
bro.
that dog knew what you was doing.
All right, we just gonna agree to disagree then.
All right, so I had this idea.
Let's do it.
We gonna do a game called Mount Rushmore. So when this is all over, it's the 4 top places y'all gonna go eat.
4 top places?
Yep.
Oh, man.
Hold on, let me get my list out.
Oh, we got a list? Nah, on top of your head. Don't look.
Up your head, man. This man got a list. Look at him. That's so funny. They tell him to get my list out. No, you be going for real.
Is Jeremiah still open?
Jeremiah.
The ice cream place?
Yeah.
I would assume so. They've
I mean, Twisties was open.
all the ice cream places.
Twisty Treat.
What's his I'm gonna go?
Oh, they've been quarantined?
No, I'm saying they practice quarantining even when we weren't quarantined.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, because they were just drive-through.
All right, so for me, I figure after I get out of this, I need a nice, somber, chill, relaxing place. I know we'd be making jokes about it, but I might want to go eat at Eddie V's.
Nice, chill, relaxing.
Lights low. You got to come out of it. I can't just leave here and go wild. I got to come out of it.
I mean, that's technically what you're doing. Spend $100
coming out of it.
The question is, who are you going with?
Mm-mm.
I was gonna say something. Nobody, man. I don't go to dinners with women. I like my money.
Mm-mm.
Look at Drexel.
Right, what's number 2?
Number 2. I don't know. I like Ale House. I do miss the little. I'm really into their. Christ, I had it so long I forgot to call. But the chicken melts. The
Zingers.
Yeah. I love those. I miss those. And probably a brunch place somewhere downtown. I don't have a particular place, honestly. I miss brunch though.
I feel you on that.
Like after I watch service on my phone, I'm like, all right, let me go. Oh wait. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it for me.
That's dope.
Drax, where you trying to
go? First place I'm going is BurgerFi because I just want a really, really good burger.
You can go there now.
I can, but I can't sit there. I want to sit in the one downtown Winter Park and watch the people go by.
Why? Okay, real quick. We're all supposed to be social distancing, quarantine and stuff. Why are people still going to get food at these places and acting like?
Well, you can do. I mean, you can do pickup. You're not supposed to sit there.
I get it. You can do pickup, but if you don't have no protection over your face, you can easily. They can sneeze on you and.
Yeah. Listen, man.
I'm just saying.
So you gotta understand, no one really knows. I'm not sure if you're keeping it up, but no one really knows how this thing is transmitted. Like
Exactly. Like
it keeps on changing every day. One day it's by touch, the next day it's airborne, the next day it's not airborne, the next day okay it
Somebody
really is
breathe on you
airborne.
getting it. Yeah, they don't. They're learning as we're seeing it as they're learning. So it's just kind of like I don't know. You can only
You got to
you
use
only
your
do
best
what you can
judgment
do.
for the most
Yeah,
part.
use your best judgment and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Don't be out there like all the time. Like I've been using Uber Eats a lot because they doing this whole shop it by your door thing. So I've been doing that.
And then I heard even when you stay home, you know, things can get affected by the water. You know what I'm saying? Just for, going through the pipes or just, you touch a doorknob, the next person touches a different doorknob or the same doorknob. And it's crazy, man. It's
Yeah.
interesting out there.
Yes.
Well, you've been scared to go out, Malik?
I ain't even scared. I've just been real careful, because my wife is a nurse.
So you getting the most of it. You're probably hearing it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But just trying to take every precaution possible. Yeah, it's crazy. But for me, as far as the question, have y'all heard of Canvas?
Yeah, so Lake Nona. That's an amazing place.
Yes, that's the number one place.
Amazing place.
Cannabis.
Haven't been there yet.
Yeah, it's like on the lake.
Save a little bit of cash. And,
You haven't been there yet at all?
no, I'm saying if I haven't been there yet.
If you haven't.
Me and Lauren go a lot. But
Okay, baby.
uh,
Drake, you never been to Canvas? I know you a foodie.
you should definitely go to Canvas.
I haven't been to Canvas. I went to another place in Lake Nona that was really good though.
You know what? After all this is done, we should all just go have brunch there.
You
That'd
should.
be cool.
I'd be down.
Should. It's dope.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, man. I'll see y'all next year.
What are you talking about? Oh, you think we're going to be in here till next year? Let me tell you something right now. If we I don't know, man. I don't want to put that. I rebuke that, honestly. I don't want to.
I already said by August. I said at the latest August.
Imagine we doing this at Christmas time. Merry Christmas, brother. You know what I'm saying?
No, we're not going that far.
We'd be stir crazy. We would.
Nah, there's going to be a lot of mental illness is going on.
There's gonna be a lot of people looking
By
rough.
Christmas, everybody gonna look different. There's gonna be a bunch of married couples with babies by Christmas.
Hmm.
We'll have a lot of baby showers to go to.
True.
Virtual baby showers.
So as far as like, have you guys? I know in this time for me, like, it's been making me kind of sit back and like evaluate my life more or less, and like plans. Like I took a look at my like life plan, which I hadn't looked at in a while, and kind of like revised that, and like I felt good about it. I felt like, I hadn't really like looked at it. You get caught up in life and stuff. You don't really, you have all these goals and aspirations, and we're all doing something, on the side outside of our regular thing, and sometimes you don't get a chance to just sit down and like, how can I say, like, write it out, I sat it out and like wrote it out. Like, this is what I'm going to do. How are you going to get to point A? And once you get to point A, how do you get to point B? Just create like a life plan. And I kind of sat there and looked at it, and I was like, oh, wow, look at that. And it actually took shorter than I thought it would. I thought it was going to be like a long, like, oh. But yeah, have you guys been like, does it make you thinking?
I haven't thought about that specifically, but I have just been realizing how fast like the entire world was moving and what we were used to, and something like this just makes it's literally like an abrupt stop, and everybody just doesn't know what to do. Crazy. But I think, I said it in one of our stories that I just feel like God is like really trying to get us to just focus on Him at this time. Yeah, so that's what I've been kind of just sitting down thinking about.
It's also given a lot of people an opportunity to kind of explore some interests that they never thought they would have time to explore. I've been able to do some things creatively that I've been pushing off for really a year now. Kind of getting into some things and trying out some things, and it's actually been a really cool, almost like rediscovery time.
That's what's up.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've seen people saying like, if you don't use this quarantine time to hone your skills or like basically make yourself as busy as possible, then you're wasting time. But then on the flip side of that, there's people saying like, no, that's ridiculous. Like, it's okay for you to enjoy rest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's a healthy balance between the two. Definitely take out time, and Malika, you and I, we spoke about this, about how we feel like God is giving this time to just take a pause. Number one, to decrease distraction with other people and what's going on, and to really refocus on Him. But there's a time for rest and there's a time for work, and I feel like by properly allocating your time, your free time, you can get a lot done, man. And I was talking with a friend of mine, and we were saying how little rest and how little sleep we get. You know what I mean? We're always up, we're on our phones, we're watching movies, we're playing games, we're with people 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, granted, if you're in school, that's definitely understandable. But even then, like, really do your best to try to get as much rest and sleep as possible, man. And I think with us having more time in the day, we can be productive during the day and then actually go to sleep on time. You know what I mean? Or at a decent time, whatever that is, to get that 7-8 hours. So I think just really prioritizing your day is important. Like, all right, you got a goal, start off small too. Like what I was doing, like what I'm doing now. At first, the first week, I was like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna get here, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and then I got overwhelmed, and I kind of sat back and I was like, instead of trying to spend 2-3 hours on something, let me just spend an hour. And if it goes over, it goes over. That's a good thing. If I read for an hour and a half, 2 hours, great. But I'm gonna dedicate just 1 hour. And that really helps to kind of set your day. It helps you to feel accomplished, which then encourages you the next day to do it again. You know what I mean? So now you're well rested. You've accomplished some goals the previous day. You're ready for this day. You know what I mean? So it's like a cyclical effect.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I'm just sitting here like thinking about it. Like, when this is all over, I feel like people are gonna try to go back to the normal that was.
It's not gonna work.
But we can't. Like, there's a new normal forming and we don't know what it is.
Right.
I mean, even if you think about the number of jobs that have, for the longest period of time, say you can't work remotely, now we're working remotely. It's going to be hard to convince people now to come back to an office. The stores who have had to adjust their hours to accommodate their communities, it's going to be hard for them to go back to normal. The number of people who are like starting businesses or starting side hustles now, it's gonna be an explosion of entrepreneurship. Even just people working out and being healthy now. Like there's such a bigger focus now on getting outside and getting fresh air because people are like, we can't be cooped up all day. That's going to be something now companies would even have to incorporate is like, yo, we do have to now let people go outside for an hour outside their offices. So it's going to be some changes. It's just going to be a question of how long it's going to take some of these changes.
Yeah, there's going to be a new normal. It's just kind of, you kind of just gotta let it sit back and let it play itself out, like whatever that is. Once this is all said and done, and we're able to be amongst each other again, there's going to be something in the air that's just different, you know. Like, so it'll. I don't know. I just feel like it'll come together how it's supposed to.
So question: when this is all over, y'all gonna go back to giving people dap and hugs?
Go back to giving daps and hugs?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe not the first 90 days. I gotta see what's going on.
Yeah, man, you gotta work with breaks, man. Working great.
Yeah, because some man on the TV told me everything is good. All of a sudden it's good. Nah. First 90 days, brother. Just okay. Let's see how you doing. You good? Last time you called.
Y'all seen that meme that says when they let us back outside, I'm gonna let some people go out first and get that first bit of air, and if they're all right, then I'm gonna.
Yeah, man. I feel like, they're gonna say, yeah, this whole thing is over and just people ain't gonna leave the house.
No, nobody will believe that. You didn't know what was going on in the beginning. How all of a sudden you know now?
Oh, well.
Lost someone. We lost Raji.
His phone probably died. But yeah, man, it's definitely going to be a thing. I think people are just going to. So everybody was living a particular life before this started, right?
Yeah.
So there were people that, were, like us. We change our lives. We go to church, this and that. We're living a different path. And there were people that are out there living wild. I feel like two things are going to happen once this is done. The people that are living wild may turn their face to God, or the people that were living wild and because they made it get wilder. You know what I mean? You just go like, man, I made it. Like, feel invincible or whatever. I feel like it's going to be two paths in that sense. Like, it'll bring some people to God, and then it will just other people that it just is what it is. They'll think that they got away with it because they're alive and it never touched them.
I mean, you got people like that now who just are disregarding any and everything said about being safe and staying home and everything like that. They're just like, well, I'm young, it's not gonna touch me, or I don't have this disease. And it's just like, no, you're still human. You're still vulnerable.
Yeah. And for everybody that's listening, like, please don't be ignorant about this. Like,
yeah.
People are dying. My mom works in the healthcare system in New York. It's horrible up there.
Man, I heard it's crazy up there.
It's like hundreds of deaths a day, isn't it?
But from what I understand, like their like numbers double a day of people that are getting it. And then when you go on Instagram,
it's because people aren't paying attention to it.
They don't care. And people just don't care. Like, you on Instagram and people are like, oh, we don't care about no coronavirus. Oh, it's like, yo.
This is not just another like weird thing that that popped up, but this is affecting the entire world.
Yeah.
The entire world. It's crazy. But I want us, to leave the people with a good note. Just enjoy rest during this time. That's most important, and it's really taking time to sit back and look at family. Like, look at family. Readjust your life so that you can find happiness during this time.
Yeah, there's definitely a time to be still, and if you don't have,
Oh, look at that! Look at God. They've run a 40-minute time limit on our meeting, so we can keep going.
We can.
Yeah,
I just got a notification saying the host upgraded it to unlimited minutes.
I didn't do that.
Okay, big baller. I do feel like
look, my wife was watching. I did not pay for anything. It just popped up.
Yeah, you can't go nowhere. You have to sit there once you get home. So yeah, man, I definitely feel it's a time to be still, and it's a time to like dig deep into like maybe a dream that you had or you wanted to do. Like even though I have a regular thing and I have a side thing, there was something else that I've always wanted to look into, and I started like sitting down and jotting it out, and it made sense, and so I've taken steps to like get that going. But yeah, man, you just never know. Like, take the time to just be still, like be still and think about the things that you've always wanted to do. Like you have enough, literally have nothing but time on our hands at this point. Like we don't know when this is ending. You literally have time. But if you sit there and waste the time, then, I would point the question, like, when this is all done, like, are you going to come out of this being the same person you were? Like you had so much time. We only have so much time on this earth in general, which we can clearly see with everything going on. Yeah. If you get out of this and you just go back to what you were doing, what'd you do with all that time?
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I don't think people should feel pressure that they have to come out with like.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, but I guess I'm more speaking for people that are like entrepreneurs or like artists or like, everyone has some type of dream I feel that they want to do. If you don't want to do nothing, then you don't do nothing. It is what it is. Then I'm always going to talk to you. But if there's something that you've been thinking about doing or wanting to get into, like this would definitely be the time to at least jot it down and look at it,
Most definitely.
Yeah, because I know some people, a lot of people are saying, oh, you ain't come out with a new skill or a new career or a new blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you don't want to bash people.
First, not everyone has that desire. And for some people, it's just an opportunity for them to finally sit still and rest. That was a big thing I did the first week, was just like literally detox my mind. And then I was able to kind of get into a groove. So it's okay to rest too during this time.
Yeah, most definitely.
I will say I wish these college professors, though, would just go ahead and pass all the students this semester and give us all A's and stop trying to force us to continue studying.
Okay. So because the disease came out, you want them to cheat?
Not cheat, but I mean...
Okay. We know what time of man you're going to be when this is over.
No, for real, especially in my master's program, a lot of my classmates, they're like on the front lines of emergency management and everything going on. So, some of my teammates that I've been working on this project with, they've been struggling to keep up because they're, working in healthcare, they're working in public administration. They're getting hit with so much more right now. And the last thing they're thinking about is studying. And even me working at UCF as a communications coordinator, I'm getting hit with a lot of emergency communications.
You know what that's going to build? That's going to build discipline and work ethic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is, but...
That's how I see it. It is, but go ahead. But you want that A still, huh?
It doesn't have to be an A. I'll take a B minus.
What? You don't want to take an A? You don't think your work is worth an A? Don't sell yourself short, baby. Go get that A, man.
For the effort I've put in, it's not worth an A, but I will take a B.
You'll take a B minus. All right.
I'll take a B.
So if someone asks him when you get out of this, what you mean about your boy Drake's? Man, my dog a B minus. What you mean? Oh gosh, that's good, man.
People gonna be looking different when they get out of here, bro.
Oh yeah, let me tell you something. The nail shops and the hair shops.
Right, this last wife, I walked her through. through it.
Yeah. Oh, that's you? Good. Let me see. Okay.
Paid me up a little bit. You know, it's the first time.
All right.
I was going stir crazy. I'm like, I need.
Yeah. Let me tell you something, man. I've been seeing some people on the gram.
No, what I'm saying is, I said people are just going to look different to y'all.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
The single nation. People ain't going. People had all these standards before.
Oh yeah.
This tall, black, and handsome. You know. And he gonna be
People really don't have
You think they're gonna lower their standards when they get out of this? Like, look, thank God I'm alive. Look, I'll take a midget right now. I don't care. Oh, what do they call them? Little people, little persons. I don't want to offend anyone, whatever they are. Well, that probably isn't right either.
Yo, I was thinking about this. Very interesting times again that we're living in. Do you think that the NBA next season will pay the players the same amount that they paid them this season? Because players are not getting paid their salaries right now.
Oh, they're not getting paid their salaries? They kind of, so they're at home just not getting paid nothing?
They're not. I don't think they're getting everything that they would have gotten.
Oh, well, I mean, why pay them more?
No, what I'm saying is not paying them more, but just
paying them what they would have been paid this season.
Yeah, like let's say some people are. What do they normally get paid? Like 38 million around there.
Let's say something crazy like that a month or whatever. Yeah. I mean, so right now that 38 million is shut down. They open the NBA back up, everything is good, and they just continue paying them 38 million. I would think that's how it would go. You think you should pay them more?
Yeah, but then you think about it, like, contracts will have to be extended. If somebody's on a three-year contract and $38 million, this is the last year of that contract, but they ain't getting that money.
Yeah, I mean, it would be fair to extend the contract for the time that they lost for the same amount of money.
But that's what I'm saying. But extending the contract means you're extending that person on the team, and you got a whole bunch of,
I feel like they should honor those people who, maybe at the end of their contract, because it's not like they got injured. There was just a worldwide pandemic that shut everything down. So
and you would be shortening their money if you didn't. Like if I signed a contract for 12 months and I only got 10 and you didn't pay me for the 2, I didn't work, you didn't pay me, and we just sat there. The contracts, I would think because of the extraneous circumstances that you would let them ride it out.
But the NBA is still making money because they got NBA TV, they got networks, they got all different types of streams of income where people.
Yeah, but then when you start doing that, that's like looking at a brother's pockets. It don't matter what they doing. What contract did you have with them? What did we agree to? And we can focus on that. Don't worry about how much extra money I got with these. You can't go like that, because then that gets crazy. Oh, well, I know you got money because you got a television station. Well, that ain't got nothing to do with you.
Well, if they're not paying you your contract, yeah, that got a lot to do with you.
I don't know. I don't see it as that, but I ain't out here making 38 million. But I would see it as like, I would just want my contract to be honored. If however long this takes, when we kick back up, I get to get my money and work however long that I missed out and make sure that I get that money. There has to be something. That's the only fair way to do it. Because then if you get rid of me, then you're shorting me my money. Unless you get rid of me and pay me my money, then cool. But that's all it comes down to, right? The number. Like if we're gonna say, hey, we're gonna let you go, your contract's over, but we're gonna pay you the 2 months you didn't work. All right, cool. Then we good. But the contract basically states you owe me a certain amount of money.
Yeah, looking at it from just a basic legal point of view, I would say they have to pay them. Just point blank period. Like they signed a contract. I'm pretty sure there's nothing in the contract that said if there's a pandemic, this will happen. So I think they should get paid.
But at the end of the day,
do you think it's just gonna overall, like the value that has been put into the athletes, the super athletes, do you think that's going to change? Like, cause what I'm thinking is, cause I've seen like a lot of people put like, nurses need to be paid more, nurses need to be taken care of more, like have the nurses and doctors, healthcare people, um, just need to be valued more for what they're going through with this. So it's like, will it
You
be?
think it'll continue after it's over? As sad as this comedy is going to be, I don't think so.
And teachers as well.
As sad as it is, I don't think so, because right now we're in a moment, right?
Yeah.
Like this is how my mind works with things and just events and stuff like that. Like bird flu and SARS and all that. Those were all moments in time. Once those things were said, cut, and done, and everything that happened, we moved on with our lives like it was nothing. We're so like everything is so quick now. Like we don't hold on to things. I think everything's just gonna go back to normal the way it was. People will be back on Instagram doing nonsense. It's gonna be like time.
That's the thing. I feel like people are gonna try. There are gonna be some people who try their hardest to go back to that, because I think this time of being in your homes is making them self-reflect on a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't like doing that, so they're gonna try to scurry back to the things that used to satisfy.
Yeah, for sure.
That they didn't even know satisfied them before.
I'll say this. I'm an advocate that we do pay healthcare and teachers more. I've always said teachers especially. But then there's even other positions that we didn't realize we overlook, but were valuable, like the people who work at Publix and Target and Walmart. Like they're still out here working, the Amazon drivers and people like that. I think what will happen is there's going to be a short period of time where we're going to focus more on those positions. But then as things kind of start rolling back to normal and, artists start releasing CDs again, expecting people to pay for them, people are having concerts again, we're going to slip back into
our old life.
that old mindset, that old way of life. So I really think it's almost up to the artist to kind of remind us, hey, things are different now. Because a lot of people are going to be following whatever celebrities are doing, really.
Yeah. I think a few people that are conscious enough will hold on to something from this. But I think the mass is just going to go back to life as normal. Like things are going to continue. People are going to go back to being artists and making money and doing shows. Like, it's going to start slowing down in the hospitals and just go back to what the regular shifts were and stuff like that. And then all this would just kind of, all this uproar and everything would just kind of disappear. I mean, it's if you just look through history, if you just, these are all just like history moments. This is definitely going to be an event. But if you look through history, it's always like, because this is a moment in time right now that people are hurting, or people are feeling, or people are seeing, and people are noticing things. Like this is a moment in time to where you have to pay attention to what's around you. And once that goes away, it's just back to life.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately,
I mean, that's just what we are. That's just how we operate as human beings. Like I said, I feel a handful will take in what's actually happened and may switch up things in their life, but I think the masses are just going to go back.
He's back.
That's what we are as human beings. It's who we are.
Hello.
What's up, man? You good?
Yo. Yeah, my bad, fellas. For difficult ties.
What you talking about? It was a twofold question, but I was saying, just do you think that sports will be as valued as they were before this? So, like, athletes getting paid millions and millions of dollars. But, now there's more of a focus on people who do healthcare, teachers and things like that, where they're saying like, yeah, these people need to be paid more for the stuff that they're doing now, because these people are on the front lines of things when things get serious. But I was saying like, I think I saw something on ESPN where they were saying that the players weren't getting all of their contract money because they're not playing right now. But I was just saying, do you think that there will be less of a value on the sports and things like that, and more value placed into healthcare and teaching and education and stuff?
No, I don't think there'll be less. I think eventually when and if, hopefully when, things are sanctioned or things are back in order as far as there being sports and whatnot. To be honest with you, man, that's been such a staple, and this is coming from a person who doesn't really watch sports. I'm not a big sports fan. I enjoy it. I watch. I'm one of the people that will watch like the playoffs and the championships, and that's it. And then I try to keep up with a few games here and there, but so I'm not coming at it from a biased position. But I really think since it's such a staple, especially in the West, West meaning like America and whatnot. Once it comes back on, people can be like, "Thank goodness." You know what I mean? And hop right back on it. I mean, I would hope that people have a newfound understanding and value for teachers and people in the medical field. But I think we spoke. I'm not sure what you guys spoke about, but I know earlier we were talking about the newfound norm, and I it's like I agree with that, but I think that once things become too or get back to what they used to be, like before COVID, I think people are gonna start going back into that mindset. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Start slowly going back into that mindset. So,
Yeah,
unfortunately, but yeah, unfortunate, but I think it's the truth.
Oh, okay. I think you said something.
Yeah, Mike.
No. I was agreeing. I was letting him know that that's what I was saying when we were on here for a bit. That it's just a moment in time. Like right now, it's just a moment. People are in uproar and everything. But once all this ceases and everything is back, we're just going to go back to our regular lives. People are just going to go back to doing what they were doing, because it's not in their mind anymore, right? There's not death being shown to them. There's not, stay in your house and the whole lot. Like they're back to their free, regular self. And so it starts off like a snowball effect, and then you're just right back at it.
I feel like it's going to be unfortunate because, so I'm looking at like from the education's point of view, the fact that we now have we've had to transition the entire nation to online learning, and realizing that something that for a lot of people is a luxury is actually just a basic need, like Wi-Fi, having internet access. There's a lot of students who are in positions where they don't have that. So now I feel like we're going to, from a legislative point of view, have to look at how do we address issues like that. But it's going to be on the teacher's shoulders to figure that out, as opposed to the government or higher authorities. Whereas, like Raji said, people are going to see sports come back on. They're just going to jump in and be like, oh, it's the normal everyday thing. And it's just like, yeah, it's normal for them, but what about for the average Joe? It's not normal. Like, this is now an escape. So I think there's going to be some strains when we go back. And unfortunately, I feel like celebrities are not going to feel it the way we as a normal people are.
Oh, do we feel that celebrities per se, you think their lives have changed during this?
I think some. Just depends on what you were, or
In what ways? I guess if you have an example of a particular
I think
person.
like definitely people who were celebrities for no reason, like the Instagram models and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Like they've definitely been affected. Or people who were basically use social media to gain influence and would do appearances and stuff like that. Like that's definitely hurt their brand in some ways if they haven't come up with creative ways to keep people engaged in their content. But people who do like sports and stuff like that, like I mean, I think it might put some things into perspective for them. Like, the entire NBA shut down.
Yeah.
Like, that's never happened.
That's never happened. It's unheard of.
Like, one person got COVID-19 and the entire NBA shut down.
It was like, no, we're not doing this.
So it's crazy. I think for them, I think it's just been a lot of things have been put into perspective. And hopefully a lot of them were smart with their money and invested in.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. So many people in the past were amazing players, and they do the where are they now, and they ain't nowhere.
I think your big name celebrities haven't been affected as much as like your smaller celebrities. So like your Beyonce and Jay-Z's, this is probably no big deal to them. I honestly would not be surprised if like after this is over, Beyonce drops a whole album and the world just goes crazy because it's like, we needed this. But like your artists like...
Did we need it though?
We didn't, but there's going to be people who are like the queen.
I'm going to say are you a Beyonce lover?
I'm not a Beyonce
I get you though.
But, people like her probably aren't affected, but people like Miguel or Bobby Valentino, kind of like the one-hit wonders of this just coming out or the underground artists.
Disrespect Miguel calling him a one-hit wonder.
I'm about to say.
I mean, he's at least a 2-hit wonder though.
Yeah, a one-hit wonder. That should come look for you after this is over.
It was a one-hit wonder, but I was using him as an example of those artists that
then say
they don't have like 55.
What's the dude that sing "Put You to Bed"?
What?
I know he's on.
Put you to bed.
Jay Holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I understand. He probably going to.
I mean, I feel you on that. I think I would even go a little bit smaller. Like I'm thinking entertainers like Kev on Stage or even slightly more than Kev on Stage. Like Issa Rae, who's coming up, most definitely. But I mean, let's be honest, she don't have Beyonce money, Yeah. But I'm thinking of people that need to travel. The reason why Kev on Stage came to mind is because I know he travels for.
He was on tour.
He does stand up.
And now that I'm sure that gets shut down. So people that need to have a consistent physical presence.
But he started people like him. I don't know if you know who Major Hype is. He's like a Caribbean comedian. But their content, they just started adding things to it. Like Kev started doing the dad joke thing. They just started adding different things to their content because they know they can't go anywhere. And it definitely shows you who has talent and who can think beyond their circumstance.
But I mean,
money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's free content. Tour, you are making every single show. You are making money. But putting out.
So many artists have done concerts on Instagram Live now. They're not charging, and it's great for us to see this content for free.
Oh man, have you guys been? So I basically grew up in music. Like music was my getaway since I didn't have any friends and stuff. But anyway, have you guys been watched like the battles and stuff? Like the
I've heard about
T-Pain,
it.
Lil Jon, D-Nice didn't battle anybody, but he had a great like. You guys aren't into it. Everybody's just like, nah, we don't really talk.
I haven't like watched them, but I've been keeping up with the people who are battling against each other, and some of them are kind of like really interesting.
Man, like
I need
hearing those things. Go ahead.
I need a Jazzy Jeff battle.
Jazzy Jeff and who? It got to be like they did. They did Ryder, so the Dream and Sean Garrett did.
Who? D-Nice is his name?
D-Nice, yeah.
Yeah, D-Nice and
D-Nice and Jazzy Jeff?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know how I feel.
Bro, don't sleep on Jazzy Jeff, bro. The Fresh Prince of Jazzy Jeff.
Yeah, no, just like
the first rap duo to win a Grammy.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't see it. Like I don't know. What kind of hit?
I don't see how Little John beat T-Pain.
Who said Little John beat T-Pain?
T-Pain won that one.
Yeah, T-Pain won that
one. People were saying that Little John won.
Nah, those are all people from the South, probably.
Like metaphor
from Atlanta.
I'm about to say T-Pain definitely should have watched.
Did you see the Dream and Sean Garrett one?
Nah, I don't.
No.
I heard about that one.
You like the Dream?
Dream is a better writer than he is
a singer, an artist. I don't know, man. That falsetto.
One song. What's the next one?
Song falsetto.
What's the next one? Exactly.
Running Through Your Hair. I have all three of his albums. Well, the first, like when he first came out, like those two, Abyss. He got a voice though. Matter of fact, we were talking about this. What do you guys think about The Weeknd?
He can't sing.
You don't want my thoughts. You aren't ready for my thoughts about him.
Let me hear you, man. We got nothing else to do. That's all we can do.
I feel like he's on a different wavelength than other people.
As far as like
in a bad way.
Oh yeah, it's definitely toxic music. I don't think that. Yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me if somebody said the dude was, messing with spirits and stuff like that.
Oh, you talking about that part? I don't know. I was gonna say it wouldn't surprise me if someone said that he like.
I mean, look at his album cover. Have you seen his album cover?
Yeah, the red and black, and like that's his like the theme that he's come out with.
Have you seen the album cover? Like, it's him with blood dripping down his mouth, but he's singing pop music.
Oh, because he's. Have you seen like the?
It don't matter.
The little short clips he's put out.
It don't matter at first glance. Like if that's what I see.
Okay. Well, I mean, I saw the whole thing, so that's why. But
no, I feel you. There's another chick that Billy something.
Billy Elliot. Yeah. Every time somebody posts something about this, you always say that she's demonic. I've never listened to her music, but like, what is she like, pop or something?
She's British.
What is it about her you don't like?
You just gotta watch a video. Like I've seen one video and I was like, no, I'm straight.
Yeah, that one video with the whole devil angel wings thing, and she's like being burned and junk.
Yeah.
That's some blasphemy, bro.
So I guess what do you guys, the music that you decide to listen to in regards to that, like if you see something that doesn't look right to you, you just don't.
Yeah.
You don't listen to it?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
If there's anything, what's the word? What's blasphemic?
Blasphemous.
Blasphemous. Thank you.
Okay.
If there's anything blasphemous in the music, so I, for example, I used to be like a really huge Jay-Z fan. Huge. I'm talking about every album from Reasonable Doubts to the last album that I bought or had from him is Blueprint 3. But yeah, like huge Jay-Z fan, man, and I just couldn't get down with his stuff, man. And I found myself listening and like having to force myself to listen. Like that's how bad it got. Where
What about his music was?
I mean, well, okay. Actually, sorry. The last album that I heard was 444 or 40. Was it 44 or 444?
Yeah, 444. Yeah.
Yeah. So and that album was decent. You know, I could definitely hear the
There's
maturity.
maturity and yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely hear the maturity. So, but I mean, you know, you talking about like Big Pimpin', you know,
But I mean, well, we know what that is. That's what it was back then.
and I know that's bubblegum music, and I get that, and I know he did that to attract people, so that you know, there's a little bit more of a broad kind of presentation in his album. I get that, but even with the more broad presentation that he had in albums like Blueprint, which I think one is probably Blueprint 2, I think is probably his best albums, in my opinion. Black Album, definitely an awesome album. But just I don't know, the content. I have a love-hate relationship with some hip hop because I'm a huge hip hop fan. When I say hip hop, I don't mean like popular music, popular rap. I'm talking about like Tribe Called Quest, Common, Mos Def, Talib Kweli, De La Soul, you know, Leaders in the New School, all them cats, right? I have Rakim, I love them cats. And they kind of helped the hip hop movement, but then kind of got into a weird thing. So when people say I'm just speaking my truth or I'm just talking about what's happening in my hood and all this other junk, it's like I get it, but it's being celebrated. You know what I mean? And cats are trying to mimic these things that they hear. You know what I mean? And it's not you're no longer telling a story, you're glorifying it. Mm-hmm. And that's what I don't like. Like for example, Lupe Fiasco. Lupe Fiasco was publicly known to be like the nerdy rapper, but he's really not. That man is straight up from like the hood of Chicago. You know what I mean? Straight up from the hood of Chicago. So and you hear his story. A lot of his music, if you listen to like Food and Liquor, right, or Food and Liquor 2, and you hear the things that he went through, you can clearly tell the difference from someone just telling their story and someone glorifying like hood mentality and hood, you know, and like what's happening on their block. Like there's a clear difference, and that's what I just can't get with. I can't get with someone that glorifies it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess I don't think that they. I guess for me, I don't see it as them glorifying it. It's just what they know at the time. Now, if Jay-Z now today is still coming out with Big Pimpin' 3, that'll sound crazy. But there's a space in maturity, and then you grow up, and then you're just rapping about other things, and he's even now saying like, yo, this is not what we should be doing, blah, blah, blah. But in that moment, like he was getting his money, and that's what his life was, and he was glorifying it because it was an amazing time to him. I could see that.
But is it always what they know? Because I mean, I listen to more R&B. I'm more of an R&B person, but even some R&B artists, they sing about the same type of stuff, and it's like, okay, you've been singing the same stuff for 20 years. At some point, you had to.
Yeah. So then that's different. Yeah.
But I feel like some rappers do that. Like I always question any artist who puts out an album saying this is my most personal album. And if I listen to it, I'm like, I feel like you're singing the same thing you sang 4 albums ago. Like, what's more personal now?
You know who's a good example of that? Not that they're coming up with the same album, but that they actually, outside of Jay-Z, because he's the most popular one. I don't know if you ever heard of Royce 5'9".
Mm-mm.
No?
5'9", yeah.
Royce the 5'9". Okay, so like he used to be like an alcoholic and all that stuff. And if you listen to his old music and you listen to like his most recent album, Albury, man, like you can hear he's sober now, you know, he's not cheating on his wife, blah, 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 like, and he's spitting like game about But if you listen to his old stuff, it was a bunch of different things. It was his gun and how big his whatever was and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like it was that. But he grew and he stopped drinking and he got mature and blah, blah, blah. So I think it's at the moment, it's just what they know at the time. And if they glorify it, then they glorify it because to them, like, it's art, right? And so I never want to, like, if I'm not an artist, but if I'm telling my story, I don't want somebody to be like, oh, you thought that was cool? At the moment, yeah. I thought it was great to go to strip clubs and do nonsense. Now, no, not so much. But if you ask me back then, I was like, yeah, this is amazing. I love my life.
So I feel that. Like, I understand the fact that that's all they know. But you said that's art. And I have to respectfully disagree with that. So, have you ever heard of Ravi Zacharias?
No. Yes.
Okay, so Ravi Zacharias is he's basically a Christian apologist, excuse me, and he basically talks about like anything related to Christianity and believing in Christianity and why you should believe in Christianity. You know, the point is that, you know, someone asked him a question about where does the line between something being artistic and something being just plain blasphemous or against Christ? Like, where is that line drawn? And I think his answer was great. And I'm doing a horrible job at summarizing the answer. So when it comes to something being artistic, and that goes with not just musical, like visual arts, you know, like drawing nudity, or you know, or film where there's a lot of sex or nudity in the film or whatever, right? And then of course with, you know, music, there being maybe a little bit of raunchiness or, you know, a lot of cursing, whatever. And he was explaining how if you have to cross the line, if you basically have to cross God's line to consider yourself to be an artist, that's not, you know, then now you're not an artist anymore. You know what I mean? There's a specific line where I'm trying to really, there's so much room, right, to work in, and we a lot of times we see God's word as like boundaries, right, or fences or things to enclose us, and it's like you forget, it may be a fence to protect you, number one, but you gotta like turn around and see the field that's behind you. You know what I'm saying? This budding field of glory and amazingness that's behind you that you can play in. You know what I'm saying? There's so much that you can do and so much you can play in that can still be considered art. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at people like, I don't know, the one dude that comes to mind is Belief. You know Belief?
Yes.
He does a podcast. He does like a little vlog, like Belief Fatherhood. So Belief is a rapper. He's a Christian rapper, but he also vlogs, and he's you know, he's doing this belief in fatherhood thing that's going on as well. So, and to encourage fathers and young men. The really cool thing is that if you listen to his music, I think he's extremely creative, you know, vocally, lyrically, and he talks about everything from, you know, having sex before marriage to fatherhood to growing up as a black man to, you know, and it's not just like, you know, glory be to God, that type of, like, he's getting, and Malik can agree, like he's getting really, really deep with his stuff, but he doesn't have to compromise, you know what I'm saying? Like he's not compromising his belief in Christ to try to be cool or to try to get in. So when I'm listening to this music and it's like, yo, it's a little cringeworthy, or these cats are, yeah, it's all they know, but I don't know. If it goes against if it goes against God's word and it goes against like that whole belief system, man, it's difficult. You know, it's I know it's a music was hard. Music is like I had to go on a purge. I had to literally delete all my music. You know what I'm saying, and start over. And I'm still deleting music, but it's a very thin line. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, I'm explaining myself right.
I would say even on top of what you're saying, because some people can, try to have the rebuttal of like, oh, so if it's not Christian music, then I can't listen to it. Like, nah, it's not that. Like, there's a ton of non-gospel music that is great to listen to. That's not, promoting anything that is opposite of Christ. Like even love songs, like, back in the 70s, 60s, like those love songs, like dude will make a dope behind love song about just seeing a girl walk down the street and going and asking if he can take her out on a date. That's the whole song. Like that's how creative it was. But we just know the song by melodies and things like that. Like those are the type of things that I wish we can get back to in culture, and just even with R&B, like how you were saying, Drex, that people are singing about the same stuff. Like sing about something really simple, but just make it into something. Like I feel like creativity is not in the artist's hands anymore.
Well, I think part of that is also what the audience wants. I believe it's possible to go back to that easily. It's not going to be mainstream, unfortunately.
Here's the thing. I feel like an artist does their best work when they first start.
Yeah.
Like the whole, like if somebody's goal in becoming an artist is to be famous and I just want to be on the stage and get all the accolades and stuff like that, like your heart was in the wrong place to begin with. Like people who I see fans connect with, like on like long term, are people who just have a love for music and aren't afraid to shake it up when things need to be shaken up. Like Kendrick Lamar. People love him because he's not afraid to shake up the entire culture. Who else? I know mostly rap people, but I'm trying to think of other. Even though we don't, he's a one-hit wonder, but what that boy name? The Cowboy.
Lil Nas?
Huh?
Lil Nas?
X.
Yeah, him. He shook up the whole culture.
I think that had more to do with his clothes than anything else.
No. Before all of that stuff happened, he shook up the culture because ain't nobody from
the Coke country black man thing. Yeah, no black dudes in the country. Yeah. Or was being let in.
Now, granted, he probably did it by mistake or just did it for fun. Didn't think he was going to do that, but it happened.
I definitely think that was a setup.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel you, Mike. Like it's a like
So what I wanted to say about your comment was that. So the dude that you said, he was saying that like if you have to like cross, God's line, then it's not art, right? Is that what more like what? I mean, explain to me. I don't want to take it out of it.
So I'm terribly paraphrasing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm terribly paraphrasing. I mean, when you listen to Ravi Zacharias, he's probably one of the best speakers and orators I've ever heard, as far as how he explains things. So I can't hold a candle to him when it comes to how to explain it. But basically, at the most basic form, he's saying that, you know, if you have to cross that line or cross that boundary, or if you get so lost in your craft, I think I'm trying to like remember exactly, but he was saying like, if you're getting so lost in your craft, that you have to like venture out and find things outside of think of that field, right? Outside of God's bountiful field. If you have to cross over just to be different or be creative, or for the sake of creativity, I'm going to use those words, for the sake of creativity, or the sake of being different. If you have to cross over, then that's a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so I feel like that conversation, or that speech or whatever it was, is more geared towards a particular group of people.
Of course.
Okay, all right, cool. I mean that's because it can't be geared towards people that are already out here in the world and that's how they're living and they're rapping about what they're living and blah blah blah. It can't be geared towards them, because then if it's not, that's what he said, but like you can't say that what they're doing is not art because it's not how you feel it should be portrayed.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point. No, that's awesome.
So is that like that kind of like there's, I don't know, I listen to a couple of Christian rappers, and the majority of people that I listen to because of what I grew up on are not. Not saying they're not Christian, but they don't. I mean, Jesus Walks is probably the closest thing I've ever heard to for the first time. You know, I grew up on Kanye, obviously. But even now, even old Kanye, now if Kanye was veering from what he's showing us now, then I can be like, all right, well, you know what I mean? Like, I feel that conversation will be veered towards him. Like, if you have to venture and go back out to making I Love It and all these other random weird songs that obviously, then okay. But like the old Kanye before he came into the space that he's in, like that man, that was art. Like that man put, like he changed the sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I hear you. Yeah.
I hear you. Late.
So that was the only part that was just kind of like, I mean,
I fully agree. Not fully agree. I agree with what you're saying. Like, you know, what I'm saying is definitely geared towards people who are already Christian and want to walk.
Yeah. Okay. Then I see that. Then he's right. Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, man. When Late Registration and College Dropout and Graduation, those 3 albums, his first 3 albums, some things fire, bro.
Man, that was the most amazing thing I've ever heard in my life.
Those first 3 albums were fire.
The way they like everything. Yeah.
What about gospel artists that start making quote unquote secular music?
Secular music?
I think they're held to a much different standard. The standard.
That's the thing, or you're just asking?
Well, I'm thinking like like Molly Music put out 2 gospel albums and then went secular.
Well, I mean, technically he wasn't like, but he wasn't like secular.
Yeah, he wasn't secular.
Well,
what do you think about?
I guess some people
he wasn't putting out church music.
It wasn't. His faith didn't change.
Right.
He just
didn't people's faith change. Okay.
God in this album or something.
Yeah. That's basically what he went. He went mainstream to get more.
Okay.
Okay.
He went from RCA inspiration to RCA.
He didn't pull a
He wasn't a John. What's his name? John.
John Gibbs.
Yeah, he wasn't John Gibbs.
Okay. I was just wondering because, like, you know, there's some gospel artists now. Like, I don't know if y'all listen to Isaac Carree. He just dropped a new album and he's gotten some pushback against it because, like, the first half of the album is legitimately an R&B album, and I'm like,
in regards to what though? What sexual? Like what was he right? What was he thinking about?
He's right. He made love songs to his wife, and people are like, "Well, you're a gospel artist. You shouldn't be talking about sex." I'm like,
I am never gonna be able in my life. This is.
I get it. I know what you're gonna.
I know what you're saying. I'm with you. I agree with you.
I know where you're going with it.
So he's got to write that type of stuff. But people are like, well, you can't be putting out gospel music writing about your wife. I'm like, it's not like he's talking about his baby mama. He's talking about a woman he's been married to 11 years. So,
but I think there's a line about singing about your wife in that way. Like, I mean, what's he saying? Oh, I can't wait to tear you up. Like,
okay, but
it's nothing inappropriate.
Here's the
nothing
thing.
inappropriate.
Here's the thing.
No, people just
That's not inappropriate to you. Would that be inappropriate?
No, to me, it's not inappropriate because like that.
Nah, bro. I can't hear no man sing about how you tearing up his wife. Like that's like why?
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
He's not talking about the actual act. He's just talking about loving and respecting her. But
it's like a Lecrae with, you know, the last 5 albums he always dropped a song about his wife.
Yeah.
But is it like I love this woman because she was there for me, or is it like oh I'll be tearing it up at the house? Like there's a way, there's a different way.
It's more of a I love my wife because she's amazing. Like it's an ode to his wife, not an actual sex song. But people are taking it as a sex song. But it's if you listen to the lyrics, it's really
the words. Bring up the words. Go to rap. Go to Genius or whatever.
Here's the thing. That's just more of a problem with people. Because
you think so? Have you heard this song that he's talking about? Or this
I haven't. But from the way that he's explaining it, like people can find innuendos in anything.
Yeah,
sure.
Like they can think like, you know, you sitting there talking about fixing pipes and they think you're talking in this.
Yeah, no. They think you're talking about piping.
Came home, my wife
something totally different because that's just where their minds are. And then, you know, with social media, like one little thing can make it into something that it's not. Yeah. So I definitely I can see that there. And I know it's probably like older Christian gospel listeners who are getting up about that.
The saints of old. So like this is the chorus. So every time I think of her, I'm thanking you. And when I give my love to her, I'm thanking you, loving her like Christ loved the church because you told me to. Yeah, she helped me see all your glory. Sometimes I don't feel like I'm worthy, but I'm under your covenant, so I ain't worried. I'm just thanking you. When I think of her, I'm thanking you. When I give her love, I'm thanking you. Married and in love, I'm just thanking you.
So he talking to God?
He's talking to God, thanking God.
What's the issue, people? He's talking to God.
So he said he was buried. Oh, he said he buried the thing. Like, no, man. That man's right.
Now, I will say that example, he's fine.
Yeah.
But somebody like Tone.
Who's that?
He's
in
the old.
Is he a Christian rapper?
Huh?
You talking about B Slade?
Yes, that's his name now.
Okay.
Slade?
No.
B Slade. He changed his name.
Say again? What?
B Slade.
Slade.
Like the comic Slade?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then B as in boy?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, like the comic Slade.
The comic Slade. Not like a stand-up comic. The like Superman, Spider-Man, Slade.
Like Slade Wilson? Like from
the comic, B Slade.
What you know about that?
Oh, baby, get out of here, man.
What you know about Slade?
Oh, let me tell you something. I was the only child. Music and comics and my imagination got me through my childhood. And my surroundings that I grew up in. But that's so. Was he? Is he like rapping about nonsense? Is he rapping about?
You want to say it, Grace?
I'll put it to you like this. He went from right field all the way to left field.
Oh, he even stopped in the middle. He went straight. Huh?
He ain't straight.
Oh, he ain't straight either.
No. Like he put out some good gospel music, and then he went through a period.
Some really good gospel music.
Yeah, like
disappeared. Came back. He just disappeared, came back gay and singing or whatever?
He just kind of
He
started.
here. He said, "My name is not Tone no more. I'm B Slade. I'm out."
What's the B stand for?
I don't even know. I feel like he said in an interview one time, but
Hey fellas, I'm gonna have to you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Get going pretty soon.
Yeah, we just talking, catching up.
Yeah.
All right, guys. It's a good place to stop.
Oh, is it? Oh, my bad. I don't wanna.
Nah, bro, we've been here for like a while.
Thanks, Raji. No, I'm joking. Nah, man, we know you got the little one though. You know.
right.
Man,
I'm
get
just
some
saying,
dinner.
we're catching up. Forgot that people are actually gonna be watching this, so
Yeah.
appreciate y'all people for watching.
We all.
We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Stay safe. Be smart out
Safe,
there.
man.
If you're bored, or even if you're not bored, go back and watch the other episodes that we have out. Really good content. Engage with us. Talk to us.
Yeah,
We're probably gonna be doing this a lot more until
because we have a
So
choice.
we can get out. Get back.
we get back to the studio.
Yeah, man. If y'all need a haircut, holla at me.
Holla at me. You out here giving cuts now?
I knew it. Yeah, yo, yes.
Dressed in his eye, he was like.
Well, that's all the time we have for this episode. We pray that this conversation has given you food for thought and to start your own conversations with the circle of brothers and grow in authentic manhood.
And we'd love to hear your responses in the comment section on whatever platform you're listening to us on. Just remember, follow us on Instagram at 4mbm.podcast.
We are 4 Men by Men, and we'll see you next time.